Hi attorneys, how to grow your legal practice. What your clients want from you, part one and part two. There's a lot of information here, so we're going to do this in two parts. You have a bit of a problem. They never taught you in law school how to grow your legal practice. Attorneys share with me, I want to make more money, I want to have less stress, I want to have a life. That's where I come in. I've done this coaching with lawyers one-on-one, working with firms, working with practices for over 15 years, and I practiced myself for over 15 years. And I know what it's like to grow client relationships, find new clients, open offices, launch initiatives. So I think I can bring some great experience and perspective to you. This is intended for associates, partners, practice group leaders, whether you're a solo or a small practice, a medium firm, or you're in a larger firm, the information in what your clients want from you is really helpful wherever you are in your career. We're going to stop here for just a moment, but let me first say that down below in the description or the comments, there's an offer for a free ebook, over 25 pages from me to you, my gift to you, on how exactly to grow your legal practice. It's a great resource. Make sure you download that when we get to the end of this or at any time. So in a nutshell, your clients want a trusted advisor, one who adds value with regular, consistent, meaningful communications. If we lump everything we're going to talk about in these two sessions together, that's what it really comes down to. And you can stop at any one of these and say a trusted advisor, one who adds value, one who is regular and consistent. This is what they want from their attorneys. And gosh, just on those, I'm not trying to be cynical here, but on those 2 points, lawyers get excited and they say, oh, I'm going to start with great client outreach. And they do it once, and then 6 months go by, and they do it again, and then they get busy, and they forget that this is what they were trying to do. And they aren't as regular as they should be, and they aren't as consistent as they should be. Sometimes this is like a practice group newsletter or a blog. Oh, we're going to do a newsletter, or we're going to do a blog, and you do it, and the next month you do it again, and then 3 months later you do version 3, and then 6 months later you do the 4th one, and then in the 2nd year it kind of dribbles, the whole intention just dribbles away, and the project is either shelved or you're not being regular and you're not being consistent. And clients see this. So if you're going to do this, make sure that you're doing it strategically and with great intention on your part, because we're talking about growing your legal practice. And they want meaningful communications, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like here in just a moment. Your number one focus should be great client care and great client services, and you should care about this big time. And here am I preaching to you about what you should be doing with your clients, but you get the idea. And you know this. When I work with you, this is really what I hear most from attorneys and certainly from firms. Great client care, great client service. You should care about it because here's some interesting statistics on where your business comes from and where your new business comes from. Like I said at the beginning, attorneys want to make more money and have less stress. Here's how you can be intentional. Here's how you can make it an organized effort. Those first 2 boxes, firms track that 80 to 90% of their new matters come from existing clients. The middle box there, 75% of new clients come through people you already know, existing clients and existing referral relationships. This is amazing to know where your business comes from and to know where your new clients come from. You can work off of that to get very organized and get very strategic, have less stress, have a life. Those last 2 boxes, what does a potential client do to find you? A person or a business has a legal problem, they reach out to a peer or colleague, and if they get referred to you, that is the most important factor by far in their analysis of who should I hire as a lawyer. That 92% of the time, that's the most important thing, a good referral to somebody that they, when they have a problem, to an attorney that they can reach out to. And then when they do, when they email you or call you, 65% of the time, they've already made the buying decision to hire you. So I'm going at this from a background of why and how we're looking at growing your legal practice and what clients want to know from you. Let's look at some market intel. This is really interesting. Clients share 70% of the time they would like to tell their outside counsel, tell their law firm what's on their mind and what's important to them and how that relationship could improve. 70% of the time they have that desire. 38% of the time law firms and lawyers are actually doing this. It's interesting, there was another statistic in this survey where law firms said 90% of the time we're doing this. Well, the clients are saying no, 38% of the time they're doing this. We want it, but it's not happening. Just stopping at this insight and talking about meaningful relationships, talking about being a trusted advisor, wow, this should really give you some great incentive. Also out in the marketplace and talking about what you might talk about with clients. And we're going to look at a roadblock here in just a moment that we were just going to jump over quickly and not even have it be a roadblock for you. If a law firm provides one service to a client, one legal service to that client, within 3 years, 35% of those clients leave. If you provide two services, it's 15%, and if you provide three or more, it's 5%. So we're talking here about client stickiness. We're also talking about being a more holistic, complete provider to your clients. So I've seen this time and again, and you might know this time and again, and you might be the one who's doing this. It's a medium or larger size company, and we do their employment work. Well, they also have tax questions, they have environmental permit questions, they have M&A questions, whatever their business needs are. I am pretty certain, 100% certain that they have more than one legal need. So when clients say, or when attorneys say, what would I talk to my clients about? Well, when we're talking about meaningful communications, regular communications, it might be, like I'm going to show you in a minute here, you have a regular twice yearly checkup. You don't charge them for it. What's going on? How are you doing? What's coming up for the next year? What products and services are you changing into? Are you expanding into any new areas? I'd like to know this so that I just really know your business well. Oh, we're going to be doing this. We need to buy a new factory. We're going to be adding a fleet of trucks. Whatever it happens to be, you should have your ears turned on to say, I have somebody in a firm that does that, or we have a team that can help you with that. And you deepen that relationship. You make it more meaningful. You offer more services in a client-centric, in a client service kind of way. When you do that, you see what those results look like here. This is astounding to me. A survey that was done by, I think this was Redwood Analytics, about what general counsels find innovative with their law firms. So what it makes an innovative law firm? One who's proactive with issues, one who understands my business, one who discusses what my business plans are, or ones that discusses my products and services and the strategies around those. I kind of stopped at this and said, that's innovative? You'd think that would be table stakes. That would be sort of the ground floor to know these issues, to discuss these issues with your clients. So back to that very first slide. Great client care, great client services can be built on this type of foundation. And this is what your clients are thinking. So that's the whole purpose of this session, part 1 and part 2. This is built out more in that free ebook down below. So make sure that you get that, because it'll be really helpful to expand on what we're talking about in this brief session. But this market intel should be really valuable for you to understand how you can grow your legal practice. 35% of the time, law firms want to brainstorm with their, clients want to brainstorm with their attorneys or their firms. Also very helpful. Back to that statistic showing 70% of the time, they really want to have a greater dialogue with you. And that 2-time-a-year strategy session, gosh, wouldn't that be a great way to brainstorm with your clients? They want to do this. So I'm sharing with you what the market says, what your clients want from you. That's the whole purpose of this session. One roadblock that I hear, the number one roadblock I hear when I'm dealing with attorneys, maybe I did this myself, Clients don't want to be bothered, right? We've been doing work for this client for a number of years. They know I'm here. They'll reach out when they have a problem. Maybe 70% of them would like to have better communications with you. By doing this, by staying in regular, meaningful, consistent contact with them, 3 times a year maybe, it doesn't need to be spamming, it doesn't need to be every week. In fact, in another session, I talk about 4 times a year. Once a quarter, you come up with a great way to reach out to your client with something useful and meaningful that matters to them. By doing this, you stay top of mind. By doing that twice yearly call with them, you talk with your clients, you find out what's in their pike, you find out what's coming up with them, you find out their pain points, how you can be useful, and you calendar that. You make sure that it's not something like the newsletter or the blog effort I talked about before, but it's a part of how you run the business side of being an attorney. So forget that roadblock. They do want to hear from you. And this is what they say. Here are 6 things that you can take to the bank. Call me with legal developments. I want you to be my trusted advisor. I like alerts and webinar invitations. And that last one is just a great way in that 4 times a year outreach calendar. Hey, our tax group is having a webinar next month on da-da-da-da-da. Thought it'd be helpful for your finance department. They may or may not say thank you. They may or may not go to the webinar, but what a great way to stay top of mind and to add some value to the relationship. That's one of your 4 times a year. You come up with the other 3, you're doing a great job of being regular and consistent with them. Invest in our relationship. Man, that makes a big deal. Talk about being a trusted advisor. By you showing interest, by you staying regular and consistent with your outreach, you really are showing, I want to invest in this relationship. I want to be your trusted advisor. So let's talk about you for a moment, about kind of coming at this from a new perspective. Your clients and your referral networks are your wealth. And this is mentioned in that free ebook, by the way. Please download that, get a copy of it. It'll be really helpful. It'll expand on this point. When you develop those relationships, which are very personal, they may go with you from firm to firm if you happen to move. Or if you know somebody, a GC at a company that happens to leave that company and go to another one, oh, let me just make sure that I continue working with you. Those relationships, if you curate them and grow them correctly, they are your wealth. They'll be yours forever. No one can take them away. And that last point I cover in a different session, but I worked with an attorney who said, I'm going to dedicate about 50 hours a year to really strategic business development. There were 2 goals that she wanted to do. So we tracked her work for the year, we tracked what the results were, and she brought in $100,000 of new revenue from those 50 hours of effort. Quickly did the math and realized that your business development time could be worth $2,000 an hour. You can't think of a higher return on that precious commodity of yours, time, than good business development, strategic and intentional actions on your part, growing your legal practice by knowing what your clients want. As you do this, as you have small wins, you'll have more confidence, more interest, you'll increase what you want to do, you'll procrastinate less because you know, wow, this is worth $2,000 an hour. Let me stop looking at TikTok videos and be better at my 4 times a year outreach with a couple of my key clients and a couple of my key relationships, referral relationships. So this is it's a flywheel effect, if you will, of how you grow your business and how it is self-perpetuating. It depends a lot on you, but once you start doing this, even in small steps, you'll see how engaging it is, how almost addictive it is to do this really well. So I hope you like this video, and if you do, like it down below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel because I'm dropping new content regularly, about once a week, sometimes more often than that. And please get that free ebook. I think it'll be really helpful for you on learning how to grow your legal practice. Thanks so much, and I'll see you again soon.